Peace, family.
Peace.
Another history
Welcome
in the
back,
making.
everybody. Yes, sir. It's that time. We in November. You know, a lot of talks of something big happening in November. So, only thing we can do is level up, rise our vibrations up, and be ready for whatever.
Facts.
You know, a lot of changes, a
Fact.
lot of crazy going on in the world right now too. Just all over. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. But the thing is with all of that all that's going on, we could either invite it into our space or you could repel it out of your space. It's not to say
Mm,
that it is not happening, but we have the power now to see it and not be a part of it and not be affected by it.
Yes.
facts.
Yeah. So
Yep.
November is a very good month to begin to master your craft and to master who you are and
Mm-hmm.
operate with it. A good month to also to activate your highest self, your your giftings that you that is in you that we came here with. Everything that we need, we already have. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we were born with everything that we would even experience. We were already born with it. And so I believe that this month of November be a very, very good time to center yourself and get those things, accomplished in terms of who you are, knowing thyself as you step
Mm-hmm.
into. Because December gonna be a big month of distractions again, you know,
Right.
a month of a lot of distractions. So November gives that cushion place to center yourself. And now November in itself is a fast-paced month. When you think about the
Mm,
sign, the Scorpio, if you study the Scorpio or you study the Scorpion, you would see that it's a fast pace and the venom that it sheds is a fast moving venom that kills you very quickly and so I think that I'm excited about this one. This is just the second day. I am extremely excited.
Yeah. It's
nice,
like
nice.
the Empress Queen Oracle mentioned. That meditation November is gonna be powerful. It's
Mhm.
powerful.
What's up, Oracle?
Peace. By the
Yes,
way,
yes.
sister. Yeah,
Peace, 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 peace.
Hey,
peace.
you read my mind,
yeah.
brother.
Yep. I personally think that something is crazy gonna happen in November, but I think that in all be all it's gonna be for the greater good, you know. But like you said, it's whatever does happen, it's gonna be what you invite in that's gonna, you know, mold your life. I think
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
whatever if it I think something is crazy, but like I said, I think it's gonna be for our greater good for the chosen ones, or anybody that's ready to just see a different reality. I think
I
whatever gonna
just want
happen
to
is gonna be
Yeah, I just want to say with the Queen P here, we got to tap into that earth energy, that earth angel energy that we have among us.
Yes, yes.
We got
yeah.
earth, that earth angel energy that the Queen carries.
That we
Carry
all
it
carry.
very well.
Yeah, we all.
Carry it very well. Carry it very well.
Mhm.
I should say execute it very well. I won't say just carry it, execute it, use it. Like she said,
Yes,
we all
use it.
have it.
Hmm.
Use it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's crazy because that was kind of part of my conversation I had with a couple different people this weekend. It was like, a lot of people were getting upset, like, oh, they saying things like in certain conversations, like, well, I didn't know or I was dumb. And I'm like, it's not really about being dumb. It's just, again, it's lack of knowing something because who was going to tell you?
Right.
Most
Mhm.
most of our environment is pre-programmed and we pick up off of our surroundings. So you only know by going through certain situations and having certain lessons that now with what you know, it's about you applying it. And my favorite thing is what's knowledge not applied. So you can't say you know, because to know is to do. You know what I'm saying? To know is to do. It's more than just about what you know. What are you doing? What are you? I need to show me that you know. Don't tell me you know. Show me.
Yeah, what you doing with the information you have? What's in your hand.
Exactly.
A lot of times, that's where wisdom comes from. People think wisdom is knowledge applied. If you apply the knowledge in the world, you increase in wisdom. It's knowledge applied. That's how you gain wisdom.
Exactly.
They think it's age. It ain't age. Young people, that young man on that thing, show you, he dropped more. He got more wisdom than the ones who've been around more years than him. So wisdom is knowledge applied. He gained knowledge and he applied it. It gave him wisdom.
Right. And that's the thing, because he applied it, he know that it's real. They can't tell him it's not real because you haven't had this experience yet to tell me that it's not real. If I say it's real because I know that I've done it, then I know that it's real.
Do the work.
Do the work. Faith without work is dead. Right? Yeah. Faith is nothing more than a belief, but the work is the knowing.
Yeah, come on. Say that again, please, so our listening audience can hear that.
Faith is compared to the belief, but the work is in the knowing. The knowing is the work. The knowing is the work. The faith is the belief. You could believe all you want. It's not about what you believe, it's what you know. And I always tell people a belief is just something you keep telling yourself. So you're telling yourself enough to believe it, but that's not like a knowing. It's not a knowing.
Facts.
To know is to perform. That's why they say actions speak louder than words. You must perform.
Yes.
You must perform.
It brings me back to this. Go ahead, sister.
Put that faith to work. Yeah, put that faith to work. You understand? That's like you having this car, and then you refuse to use the key to start the car, to get it to take you where you need to go. You just sit there, I get a car. But if you ain't using it, come on.
Okay. It brings me back to this gentleman I saw witness, and it said to believe something is to like have faith in, but to know is to know it. Like, do you believe your mother and father is your mother and father, or do you know that's your mother and father, right? And that's a perfect example because you know what I'm saying, for sure that, or like, that's your son or whatever, you for sure. There's no doubt in your mind. So, but a belief is something you believe, and it may turn out to not be true.
Right. A belief is like this cycle that we're in, that we've been in, called the matrix. We believe in this matrix, which is why it's still here. But once you seek the knowledge to know that this matrix is not really a part of what the belief really is, to who your spirit is, it will change, it will shake, it will drop. And I feel like it goes into the topic you have about, what is the topic? The government?
When establishment sees you as a threat.
Yeah, when establishment sees you as a threat. I think that falls into that, because when I heard that, this morning, I seen that as the topic. But to say when the establishment sees you as a threat, like it's like, it reminds me of being in this world and not of it. Right?
Yeah.
That's what I heard when I read that. To be in this world and not of it. The establishment can't see me as nothing because the establishment don't exist to me. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Listen,
I'm not part of the establishment to be seen as nothing more than who I am, but that's me because that's the journey I'm on. I separate myself, right?
That's it. That's it. Because one of the things I remember having a conversation with a senior politician in my country. And I said to them, I give them I drop some words to them. And when I done drop the words, they're like, who you is? I say, I give them my government name. I say, but I'm not in your system. Let me
Okay.
ask you.
Okay.
Mhm.
That
So
part.
when I said that, everybody looked at me like, "Do you know who you're speaking to?" I said, "I don't care who I'm speaking to. I'm telling
Right.
you, I'm not in your system. I don't
Exactly.
take your goons. I don't take your snipings. I don't have a mortgage." I say, "I don't have." I say, "I'm not in your system. You will not find me with anything to threaten me to say, hold me hostage."
Period.
Mhm.
Period.
Mm,
I so wish I could
mm-mm.
have been in the room with you to be like, me either.
Because you be powerful, boy. You
Mhm.
Period.
be you're powerful when you of the, like you said, we in this world, but we are not of it. When you're not of the system, that the system don't have that control over you, that you don't fear how you can eat, you can sleep, you can drink, you don't fear how, you understand me, where you
Yeah.
can lay your head and all this different stuff. You become so powerful that you become a moving target.
Yeah.
Mm.
But that's when, like, it's like you walking into your sovereignty. That's how you claim your sovereignty
Yeah,
right there. That's how you walk in your authenticity. Standing up and being a protector of you. We don't need a system to protect us. It's you
yeah.
protecting you. You have to know
Mhm.
all these characteristics and all these qualities you need to survive. Because if you're dependent on a system, they will fail you every time. They
Right.
will fail you every
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
You looking at Paul to tell you when to eat. That's a problem.
Yeah.
I was me and my girlfriend went to the nail salon the other day, and we walked across the street to get something. So we walking back. So I'm walking. She's standing there. I'm like, "You all right?" She said, "It didn't tell us when to walk." I said, "Since when am I waiting for somebody to tell me when to walk? Is you all right?" Like, what do you mean when to walk?
Yeah. Ain't no cars coming. I'm going.
We supposed to wait for them to show us the walking sign. I said, "Baby, the moment I wait for anybody to tell me when to walk, I got a problem. I did not come here to be
Right.
directed on when to walk. Okay."
Right. When to eat, when to sleep.
And I think, like, when we talk about the establishment understanding of it, we have to look at it as a whole of the world around us, because our people are also that establishment that look at us as a threat because we're not conforming to the ways that they have conformed to. We have
Hmm.
to look at that
Facts.
too.
Mhm.
It's not just the corporations or the businesses, it's our people too that are
Yeah.
deeply programmed and deeply suppressed, that when we start telling them something to get free, they start fighting against it, and we are a threat to them because it don't
Yeah.
sit
Facts.
right with their spirit, because that's not what they were taught.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Hundred
Because they
percent.
weren't taught it. Well, because they weren't taught it, they see you as a threat. Because it's going against the system of their trend of thought and shaping and molding, you become a threat. Not only that, when you are so informative, you're so knowledgeable, and you applying that knowledge, you become a threat.
Mhm.
That's why I say having the, like you said, we started off saying having the information is one thing, you know, but when you start applying that information and moving in the direction of the information that you've accumulated, is when they now start fighting against you. You understand, and putting up roadblocks and putting up all these limitations and stuff like that. Because now they see you are breaking out of the matrix, breaking out of their systems and stuff like that. The other thing I wanted to say something about that belief system. Belief is always changing. Oh,
Mhm.
I believe this. Like, you believe this one time, and then you believe something else, and you believe something else. You believe the sky is blue, then one makes you believe the sky is gray, and all these different things. But when you know something, when you anchor in the fact that I know this, nothing they could come and tell you could
What
change
change
the
it?
fact that hey,
Exactly.
I know I know I'm a melanated being. You can't come and tell me no, you're not melanated, you're black. No, I'm not black. I'm melanated. Oh no, no, you're not melanated. You're white. No, I'm not. I'm melan. You know that for a fact, and that's when you anchor in that. I know I walk in power. Nobody could even tell me otherwise.
Mm.
I know I walk in sustainable power, resurrection power, and authority.
And just having a
Mhm.
knowing makes you a threat because it goes against everyone's belief.
Uh huh.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
Right?
That's
It
it.
Yeah.
goes against everyone's belief. Remember, they believe in the religion. They believe in the God, but they don't know a God that y'all. How do you know? How do you know? You are
Mm,
given a belief and you're running with it, but you have no knowing.
Yeah.
Which you're
That's
knowing
it.
that what they're telling you is real. What makes it different from reading the Princess of the Frogs? Do you know that frogs and princesses kiss? Do you believe that? Or do
Yeah.
you know that they're not kissing? You get what I'm saying? Like a lot of people don't realize
Mm.
they're running with stories and they're forcing them on you, but yet you have no knowing to it. Show me.
Yeah.
Tell me
Yeah.
what you saw that you can prove to me, because just telling me what you heard or what you read, that doesn't make me conform. I can't believe what you believe. That's what makes us different. That's what makes our
Mm.
mindset different.
Yeah.
You can't
That,
force your
And
beliefs
to
on me
me,
and get upset because I won't conform to the way you want me to see something. No,
mhm.
no.
And to me, that's what makes this world multi-dimensional. Because again, and what makes the mind so powerful, because if a person believe that they, with all their heart and soul, believe they seen a dragon fly across the sky, how are you going to convince them they didn't see that?
Exactly.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? That's their reality.
Exactly.
That's what they're saying. You can't tell them nothing otherwise. You
Exactly.
know?
And I really feel like the changing of everything with the rainbow stuff going on with the, if you want to be a man, you could say you a man. If you want to be a woman, I feel like that they did that subliminally. I feel like spiritually you could see how it's really supposed to connect spiritually, because you are who you say you are. But
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but mentally and physiology wise, they did it to play on your conscious. Because
Mm-hmm.
spiritually, you are who you say you are. You are what you know what I'm saying? But in a sense of, oh well, we looking at a woman and, well, she said call her a man. They're playing on your mental, and they also playing into them saying how we are basically retarded. Like basically we need help. Right? Now you going
Get
around
to
saying one
see
thing and doing a letter, you playing into the system of saying that you need to be cared for because you don't know who and what you are. That plays into the psych ward activities. You being a mental patient. Now you got mental issues. So it's all a game.
you that
It's all a game.
you start being in that fight or flight mode all the time. You start being in that schizophrenic, bipolar kind of mindset that they tell you are. You're becoming two different people, two different versions of yourself. 1 minute you're one thing, the next minute you're something else.
Yeah.
So yeah, they play
And
with
when
the
you read
mind
into the
big time.
doctrine, the reason that we have presidents and governors is because they're saying that we don't know how to fend for ourselves because we don't have the mental capacity. And they're playing on our mental capacity every day when they come up with these rules and regulations and come up with these new terms to make you go against you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Like the
You
brother
going
said
against
last
you,
week.
talking about I'm a man and I was supposed to be a woman. You're playing with yourself.
Yeah. Like the brother said last week, it's
Yeah.
all a spiritual warfare.
Yeah. Yeah.
They ain't attacking your body. That's easy.
Right.
Yeah. That
The
flesh and that
mind is all.
right.
Right.
That's what they want, because that's the hardest thing. And that's what's eternal, is that spirit. The body is simply
That's a
it's
temper, a
it's
vessel, just like
valid.
aircraft. The body's just aircraft.
Right, exactly. An aircraft can be destroyed. You know what I'm saying? It can, but that's you only
Yeah.
destroying the aircraft. You're not destroying the significance of the idea.
So think about it. We're supposed to be going through a spiritual shift, a spiritual awakening. And in the midst of this spiritual shift and this spiritual awakening of us getting back to ourselves and connecting back with the divine, they decide to play on your mind and tell you, instead of you even making time to connect with divine, we're gonna mix your mind up and tell you you are man, woman, dog, monkey, seahorse,
Mm-hmm.
right? So now you're
Mm-hmm.
out of this spiritual alignment of awakening because now you're walking down the street yelling, "Call me a man when I was born a woman." You
Yeah.
get where they playing at? We're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
awakening and getting these sensual activities and these energies to remind us who we are, but they're now trying to take them back from who they are so they can play on their mind. Because if you don't control your mind and you allow somebody else to, then you don't have time to sit with God.
No.
Facts. Just about
Yeah.
everything they do is to take us out of alignment.
Yeah.
And
Take
shout
you,
out to
take
Ralph
you out of the
Smart. Shout out to Ralph Smart. He called them the inorganic ones, and that's exactly what it is. Y'all know I watched the documentary, what not even a whole documentary, but it's a show on Netflix right now called Dirty Jobs. And for whatever reason, I was kind of drawn to it. And one particular episode that I watched, it just really just went to show me how inorganic these people are when they got a whole farm for breeding horses, right? And it's not breeding horses like you think they would naturally do. These people are basically raping these horses, the males and the females. They got the male horses
Mm.
doing this artificial ejaculation into a cup. They got the female horse. They put
Yeah.
these plastic sleeves and literally inserting their arms into their vaginas.
Mm.
Uh, uh, Impregnating the horse at one horse and then take it out of the taking the embryo or whatever out the one horse and inserting it into another female horse. Like, why go through all that trouble? Just have the male horse impregnate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they just and it's always in the name of science. Just
Yeah.
just inorganic, inorganic people.
Yeah. But then think about the anger and the fear they're putting them horses under spiritually, where now they're making them angry. They're making them attack. Think about how they're going to feel about humans, watching humans do
Exactly.
this to their bodies. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like
Exactly.
they're like making an army of angry horses too at the same time. Because it's like, what's going on? Or are they killing these
Mm-hmm.
horses off when they're done using them? And like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all
Exactly.
doing?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because that's going to make them look at people differently. That's going to make them either fear them or want to kill them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And again, everything is just to take us out of alignment and out of nature. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that don't make sense. It makes no sense to go through all of those steps that they have to go through to get a horse pregnant. Just have the male
Do what it got to do. Yeah.
What they got to do? Put them,
Yeah.
put them in the same room. Put them in the same room and leave them alone.
Exactly.
They'll get together.
What they selling
They'll
horse meat? Like
get
what they feeding people
together.
horse food? What's going on? What they doing that to the horses for anyway? Like that's wild.
Facts.
Yeah. Here's thing. Here's thing.
Yeah, it
So
reminds
it's
me of
all a
that.
part of this
Go ahead.
system to take things sort of its natural, take things sort of its natural habitat and its natural way of doing things. Playing there again, playing God, playing with science.
It reminds me of that video spec shared on our Discord with the rats. And I watched it and I'm like, yeah, duh, right? Because that's how we feel. That's the normal things that we feel when we say that we are empathetic, and like it's just some things about this world that is happening that just don't feel right, or we understand ain't supposed to be right. When you look at those rats, like they said, those rats just being around each other that rat would sacrifice himself to make sure that person got out, that other rat got out every time. That's the God in that rat, because remember, God is in all things. All creation is of God. Source sits in everything, right? So those rats wasn't programmed. They didn't watch programming showing them eating up other rats' heads and chasing other rats down, and you get what I'm saying, ripping rats apart. So of course their first instinct is to protect, is to heal, is to help, because that's the God in them. Right?
Yeah,
But when they said, well, what's wrong with humanity? What's wrong with humanity is that we were programmed of fear. We was programmed to hate. We grew up watching cartoons where they smacked each other and kicked each other and yelled at each other and talked about each other. So that became part of who we thought we were supposed to be, because that's what they put in front of us. Now, we never had any of those things. We would be just like those rats.
Yeah.
We would be just like those rats. We would not be no different, I promise you, because I still have that in me. That's still in me.
Yeah.
So I know we got to understand, like you said, do they have a spiritual compass? Yes. Everything is of God. Everything has God in it. The plants have God in it. That seed that's going to make that plant has God in it.
Yeah.
Right? So when people say, oh, what's wrong with humanity? What's wrong with humanity is we just got to accept it for what it is. We've been washed.
Yeah.
We've been brainwashed. That's just what it
Right.
is. That's just what it is. Music, TV, movies, especially the movies, the education system. They teaching us the
Mm-hmm.
words that we can align and make sentences that make us angry. Think about
Yeah.
it. The religion. You read the religion long enough, it makes you angry. Oh, they did this, they cut
Mm-hmm.
this, they raped that. They telling you they did this in back in the day, so they did it then. Why can't I do it now? You got to think about all this stuff. They know what they're doing.
Facts. Mm.
Yeah.
Or
It's
they
They
not
know what
over.
they're
that
doing.
it's not
They
that
know
we're
what
bad
they
people. We just been programmed with bad characteristics and bad things.
Yep.
Yep.
That's why they say, "Forgive them, Lord. They don't know what they do." Because we don't understand what we're doing because we were programmed not to understand.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
Uh,
why I wish more people would do, follow the paper trail, because I realize a lot of folks, they point out the effect but not the cause.
That
You know what
part.
I'm saying? For
Yes.
example, they'll be like, oh, the black race is what it is. It's like it is because black father's not home. Okay, but why
Mm-hmm.
was black fathers not home? I'm just
Exactly.
sitting up here and trying to make it point it out like, oh, that's just how they was. No, because it's evidence and proof that fathers was in the house until what? They start
Exactly.
creating those government systems, and where the father had to be out the house in order for the woman to get assistance. People
Yeah.
always forget about that.
Or
They
pulled
just
them
want to,
out.
oh,
Or pulled them out for the army. Remember, some of them was ripped out the house. Let's go way back before the government system.
facts,
They was ripping them out the house to go to the army. They forced the
facts,
women to have to survive without the man and told the man if he didn't go, he would go to jail. You understand?
facts, facts.
And that army ain't not that army is anger. That army is disgust. And that's why half of our men came back so angry and so disrupted and so destructed.
Mm-hmm. But people always seem to manage to leave that part out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
just want to blame how it is now, but no, why is it like that? The way
Mm-hmm.
it's the way it is now. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if everything is programming, when did we see a different program? When did they start showing a different program? We never seen nothing different until now. We are the difference right now, just happening today. But before
Mm-hmm.
today, you never seen nothing different to show you that this was not okay and that this wasn't normal. We conformed. Let's just say what it was.
Yep.
We conformed
Yep.
unknowingly, not understanding what it was.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. Yeah. And we can only be
Yep.
blamed for that, which we once we know, and we still continue to
Yes.
conform to it.
Yes.
I spoke to this brother just it was a couple days after last week's broadcast, and he had brought up the tribe. He was like, you still we still doing something with the, I was like, what you mean? We've been doing it. Have you been, you've been watching, you've been paying? Say, no, I ain't, I don't have a phone, I don't this, that, and the third. I said, man, you got a library though. You can go to the library and watch, bro, for free. You know, all you need is you can use their free internet if you need to. But I'm like, you find a way to forget your drink every day. To get your smoke every day. It's all about what you want to do. It has nothing to do with the excuses that you're making for yourself. So I was explaining
Mm-hmm.
to him, it's not, it, it's knowing. And he's like, because he kept saying, I know this and I know that. And I'm like, but he admitted it, and I gave much respect to the brother because he was like, I know this, but I choose this. I said, oh, there it is. You know what I'm saying? I have to put my hands up at that point. You got it. It's no more, and like I told him, you won't hear me mention anything. I'm gonna see you, I'm gonna say what up, whatever, and I ain't gonna mention it no more. Make sure you don't mention it to me though, because you already said what you said, and which is I don't I don't want to step out of the matrix, right? And
Hey,
use
hey, Oka, I got a question.
Yeah.
You said that in the conversation that you had, somebody was like, I ain't know I was so dumb. What led up to them even saying that? That was they
Um,
just like banking that all the stuff that they didn't know was going on, or what?
like so basically it was a conversation about being in a relationship. And basically they were saying that they've been going through a lot of trials and tribulations in this relationship that they've been in for a few years now. Long story short, as I played out a lot of things that they repeated back to me, I'm like, everything you're doing, it gets to a point that you no longer can play the victim. You have to see where you're a willing participant. You can't just keep saying how a person should know and what they should do when they showing you that that's not what they want to do. You have to make the executive decision for your person to decide if it no longer resonates with you to leave and bow out. And if you're not willing to bow out, then go do it with your head held high. You're hurting yourself thinking that somebody is supposed to be there for you or love you more than you love yourself. All that love you looking for them to give you, you ain't even giving to yourself because you're willing to stay in this.
Mm-hmm.
And they like, dang, you know what? Yeah, because you're right. Like, that's just dumb. I should know better. I'm like, no, you shouldn't know better. And you're not dumb. Who was going to teach you? You watch your aunts and your uncles and your mother and your grandmother deal and go through this. So to you, this made sense. But obviously it don't make sense now because it's shaking your spirit differently. You're saying that you sat and you cried for hours. That's your spirit telling you to release something. And the thing that you feel releasing is the only thing that's going to save you right now. So at the end of the day, while you're looking for this person to save you, when are you going to stand up and save you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So yeah, it was like that. It was like that.
Yeah, because I mean, that part was funny to me because I remember thinking that, going through that phase myself a little bit. Like, man, I just can't believe like how stupid I've been to everything. You know what I'm saying? And just unaware and uninformed how I've been that. But
But who?
again,
Yeah.
that's what I'm about to say. I always knew something was wrong. I knew very early around, but I remember being as young as 18, at least, thinking like something ain't right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Something wrong. Like this, something just don't feel right.
Yeah.
But I don't
Now
like
what
it.
I'll make.
I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
that was it. I was gonna say
No, I
now
was
what
just
I'll
gonna
make
say,
sense.
but I don't like that as we awaken. Because all of us do it. I feel like, but I mean, I never did it to a certain extent. But I hear people say it a lot. How can we really say, "Dang, damn, I'm stupid"? Like I was so unaware. But who was around you that was aware? Who was around you that was aware that even could have gave you an inch so you could fly off? Nobody.
Nobody.
Think about it. Nobody. So
Not even
how
a
can
little
you
bit.
really sit and say I was stupid and I was unaware of something that literally you had to tap into yourself to actually become aware, right?
Facts.
And that took time because we was so confounded with, oh, what mom said at 18 we gotta work and we gotta make sure we got a job and we gotta make sure we graduate school and they kept us busy. How could you be aware of something outside of everything else they wanted you to be aware of?
Yeah. Facts.
Exactly.
So I just don't like us putting ourselves down. I feel like everything we encountered, we was meant to encounter to get to this awareness so we can go as far as we can go. That's part of our purpose. I don't think it's no mistakes to this path that we all took individually, no matter what the path was. I don't really find no mistake in that. I don't. Because we right where we need to be right now.
Yes.
Right now. And some people ain't never got there yet. Some people left this earth and they ain't get there. They ain't get where we are.
Got there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So to say I'm stupid, oh no, I'm blessed. I'm grateful.
Yeah.
I'm grateful. It's a beautiful time to be alive. That's what I said.
Yeah. And the establishment can put whatever it wants out, and we don't conform to it now because we are aware of the establishment. Just think about back then, we didn't even know what the establishment was. We didn't know that it was called the establishment or the elite or the powers that be. And all these words, we were introduced to that slowly. And as we started to look and dig deeper and we felt something on the inside, that's when we knew, okay, something's not right. There's more to this. Let me look into this. Let me look into myself. And as we did that, everything started to become clear. But it wasn't clear then. So we got to remember to have that grace with ourselves and forgive our predecessors for not knowing as well. Because for a long time, I blamed, when I first came to the awakening, I blamed my pops, I blamed my mom, I blamed, why didn't the school system teach me or tell me or whatever? Because they weren't meant to, and they were taught the same thing. It all trickles down. So we got to have that grace.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
For sure, for sure, for sure, for sure, for
And
sure.
that's why I just, that's what make me have grace for, like Oracle just said, we ain't had nobody around us giving us the slightest bit of what's going on. So, but like y'all say, they didn't know either. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what make me have grace for everybody from my past. It's like y'all was taught the same thing. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. And then that's crazy why you said that, right? While you was talking, Hooks, I just heard the black sheep. And you know
Mm,
how they say in the Bible they always talk about the shepherd. Like I've been listening to Psalms 23 every day. It's something about that Psalms that's just been uplifting my spirit, but it's about the shepherd. And it's like we hear
mm,
the black sheep, but we don't know how spiritual and powerful that is. Because the black sheep
mm,
is the difference on this path in this world. The black sheep is the
mm.
one that's going to break that matrix, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about
Facts.
being a black sheep is we don't conform. We're not meant to conform, and we're also not meant to be agreed upon. So
Yeah.
we okay with people not being okay with our difference. That's
Yes.
okay. Like that's when
Mm-hmm.
you stand in your power. That's when you stand in your power. Judgment don't mean nothing to us because we already know who the judge of us is. We already know who our judge is.
I got a requote. Now I don't know if he got it from somebody else, but I got it from him. I heard him say it first. Shout out to Papa Duck. He said, what he say? I understood. Once I understood what I understand, I understood that everybody else around me not gonna understand.
That's it. That's it.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, that's
Yeah.
I mean, of course we all knew that, but to hear him say it like that, I was like, I like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
But but but
it's
but
really
let's add put an energy into it though. Like that quote has energy attached to it that when you really
mm,
understand that nobody else will understand, you don't take nothing personal. You don't take
Yeah.
nothing
facts,
personal.
facts.
That's your power right there and always keeping your peace because you ain't never taken nothing personal because you know where they at. And you know they far from where you going, baby. They far from where you
Facts.
going.
And sister, something you mentioned, you said something about the black sheep. Something I come to realize about the black sheep and why they put so much disdain and so many barriers around and so much stigma around the black sheep and don't want you to be the black sheep or use the black sheep of your family or whatever. Is because that black sheep, it's over there and it's doing what it does and it's grazing in the grass and it's not in line with the other sheep. All that's going to happen is one of those sheep that is in line is going to say, well, if he's doing it, maybe I can. And once that happens, another one's going to do it, and then another one's going to do it. And this is why they created this system to be so barricaded to keep everybody in line so that we don't have a bunch of black sheep running around, because then that will literally break the system in two.
Exactly. And that
Into
goes right
two.
into that video you put up about that guy being a global threat.
Yeah,
Because
it's a
that's what a global threat
terrorist.
is. A global threat is going to break the matrix and break the construct that they put up, making us think that we have to abide and follow things that do not serve us. And he is
Yep,
showing that I serve myself, and these are the things that I say I'm going to do, and y'all don't have no say. And if he can shake them, then they know that we can shake them. And they don't want
exactly.
us all to shake. Okay? They don't want us all to shake at the same damn time. So that's why he is a global threat. Because the
Yep,
mind is powerful. And if we can see his mind work, then we know our minds can work like his. And
that's
they don't
right.
want
And that's what's going on. And let me ask
okay.
you something, because I have a strange notion. You haven't watched the video, have you?
I have.
Oh, okay. I was gonna
I
say
watched it. I
you just.
watched it this morning. I just watched
Oh,
it.
okay. I was gonna say you just spat out everything that pretty much his brother's saying, and you
Yeah.
ain't even watched it yet. But you
Yeah,
do
no, I
that. You
watched
know
it, but
you
he
be
was
doing
right
that.
because
So
yep, he was right because as soon as he said it, before he even spoke it, I said, "Oh, he know it's the mind. If
yeah,
one person on the side of the world can do it, we all going to do it. They know how
yeah,
we are. So he
That's
is
all
a
it is.
global threat. Like they said, he
Yep.
don't got nothing but guns in front of him in his mouth. And if that mouth could move, then we know ours can move right with it.
Yeah.
And it's not just about it happening in Africa. That could shake all the way here to America. That's why
Yeah.
he is a global threat. We
Facts.
all are global threats, to be honest. We a
Yeah.
global threat
This
right
whole
now. What you mean?
this whole I was about to say this
Yeah,
whole conversation was a global
yeah.
threat.
We a global threat
Fact.
right now. We could be considered a global threat.
Yeah. We are too. You know, we are, because honestly, we've had more viewers usually, but to this topic, as you can see, it's not as many, and that's because the topic is
No, it don't matter.
they
It's not as many right now. It will be.
right now, but
Mhm.
it's all because of the topic, and they know what it is. They know they gonna, they still control it, and for now, so they're gonna do what they can to exert as much power as possible.
Yeah.
To they want to let the horse know who's in charge, but eventually that horse is gonna kick back, or it's gonna run away.
But that's
You
the
know,
thing. You always become a threat when you take back your power.
yeah,
Okay? When you take back your power, you become a threat. And when they say
right.
more than 3 get together, we can shift some shit. So
Mm-hmm.
we are a threat. We are all these platforms that speaking different, teaching different, telling us things that they buried under the woodworks, bringing out books that they ain't never handed to us. We are all our threats. We all
Yes.
are a threat.
Mhm.
But guess
Yep.
what? That's our purpose, to be that. We
Yep.
came to
Right.
threaten this shit.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Okay?
it's growing. It's growing
There you go.
exponentially too.
That's what we came to do. I'm a rebel. I know what I was born as. I know I was a rebel when I was 3, 4, 5 years old. I've been a rebel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And ain't nobody about to change that. That's why a lot of men I meet, they'll say, "Oh, you really strong," and you didn't know. I'm not. I just know what I want when I want what I want, and you ain't about to tell me what I don't.
Yeah.
But my
Mhm.
thing is, men are rebels too, because at the end of the day, we get it from y'all. Y'all stand on business. When y'all say y'all don't want something, it ain't happening. When you say you ain't doing nothing, it ain't happening. So why we can't do
Mhm.
it? Why when women do it, we gotta be independent? How?
Right.
How? You
That's
taught
the
me how to be
internet.
independent. You taught me how to stand up for myself. You taught me when I
Mm-hmm.
say no, stand on no. What's the
Mm-hmm.
problem? Because I'm saying it to
Mhm.
you? Because I'm saying it to
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. That's
Yep.
that fascist thinking that's got everybody thinking like that. And in all reality, it's like, listen, we need to come together. We need to shake this entire system, and it needs to be broken. You know what I mean? Because we're all the ones who are being that black sheep. We're all Neo from the Matrix. We all realize we have the power to stop those bullets, to fly like Superman, to
We
reach
Mhm.
into somebody's body and pull out the bullet. Like everything he did in there, like we all have that. Is we just have to break free from that system first.
Yeah. We're all Jesus from the Bible. We're all Jesus. That's who we are. We're
Hmm.
Jesus from the Bible. When Jesus walked in there and turned them tables over and threw up, we Jesus, honey. Jesus was a rebel.
Mhm.
They hung him because he was a rebel. It wasn't about nothing else. He came to change and break their structure, and they didn't want him to do that. We are Jesus in the walking in the flesh. That's what we
You
are.
know what? You know what's funny about that? In the beginning of my awakening, I remember my grandma kind of coming at me a little sideways. She was like, but I think she was like, we was talking about something, and I just remember her saying, God got you that house, the devil ain't get you that house. So I'm thinking to myself, what would even make her say that to me, you know? And then I remember telling her like, Grandma, if anything, I say the last time I checked, Jesus was he stood against the government. He stood against the corruptions and things like that. So I say, if anything, I'm more like Jesus than you know what I'm saying?
Listen,
Anybody in your church.
but
Cause
she didn't say nothing
that's
wrong
all I
though.
was going on at the time. That's
Yeah.
all I was trying to point out was the corruption. So
Right.
I'm like, so I'm more like Jesus than anybody in your church, probably. Cause I don't hear them talking about none of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know.
But God did bring you that house, because when you walk with Jesus, it always leads you back to source. And it's walking in the likes of Jesus, following his characteristics, which is who we are. That's embedded in us. So yes, God, if you want to call it God, I call it the most high creator light source, whatever you want to call it, God did get you that house because you're walking upright. Yep.
But
He
it
sure
just
did.
goes back to the title of this topic. If you connected with the system, so by me speaking the truth, that's a threat to her. That's how I'm looking at it. By me
Yes.
speaking truth about what's going on, because it's like, why would you say God got you that house, not the devil? You know what I'm saying? So you think I'm speaking devil talk because I'm pointing out the imperfections in this society? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you pointing out
So
the imperfections in the devil.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So that was just crazy to me, and it stood out to me, you know. But like you said
Yeah.
earlier, you know, and like I've been saying from the beginning, that's why I feel so strongly how I do. It's like if you're not going against this thing that we in, then you with it.
Yeah.
Period.
And see,
If you're not going, and when I say not going against it, I'm not saying you got to be out here in the
Yeah.
streets protesting. I'm not saying all that, but just even making simple changes like, all right, we better stop using they. I'm gonna be my own doctor and gonna stop using their hospitals all the time. You know what I'm saying? And just the little changes, just realizing that's going against the system.
If you're not
You know?
seeking no knowledge, if you're not seeking nothing more than what was given to you, you're losing, right?
yeah.
Like I feel like the biggest sin, I feel like it's only one sin. And like if I wanted to believe in sin, I feel like it's only one. It's sin is not it's lack of knowledge. If you're not seeking to learn something to change your atmosphere, to change your surroundings, to change your present, you are in sin. You are in sin. If you're not seeking nothing that's going to rise your vibration or your spirit up, you are in sin. Because sin is a lack of knowledge to me. Even the Bible says seek more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And see, here's the thing, like as far as like your house goes, brother, just as an example, you know, you went and did the work to put
Mm-hmm.
yourself in position to receive that, right? See, a
Yes.
lot of people think that God, universe, powers that, you know what I mean, it's just gonna give you like you just gonna wake up one day and just be in a house or have the car sitting outside. You gotta do the work and put yourself in the position to receive it. That way when it's ready to come to you, you can actually obtain it. Right.
Exactly.
And people forget that it's work with that manifestation.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of why your Mima or grandma, that's why she said that, because she wanted to bring you back to her teachings and her belief because it's so embedded in them. Like our
Exactly.
predecessors, it's so embedded in them that when you start like, and they'll some of them will fuss at you. You know, not saying yours will. I know mine definitely did. They fuss at you when you speak something that is inherently speaking to their spirit. It's shaking them up a little bit, and it's like that's when that fear starts to come in. Like, oh my God, he's shaking my faith. How is your
Exactly.
how is right? How is your faith being shaken if it's so strong? Apparently, it ain't that strong. If I could say something that's just casual, but it's so inherently true that it forces you to say something like that because you have to remind yourself while reminding you
Mm-hmm.
that,
Mm-hmm.
oh, God did this, or God, yeah, I know that, but I put in the work. You know what I'm saying? I got my credit right. I saved up the money. I went and talked to the people at the bank or whatever, or the mortgage company or whatever. I went and did that. Now, if I sat down and didn't do none of that, I wouldn't have this. So I gotta praise myself also, not just an outside source. That was the God within me telling me to go and do this, put in these few steps and I'll make everything else possible. You just gotta, show me you want it.
And that's why they say with manifestation, you have to match the vibration. So, like you said, you have to do things to match the vibration for it to come into fruition. You
Yeah.
can't just sit at a low vibration and think something high that you're calling in is going to meet you, because it's not going to meet you where you are. You have to do the research. You have to do the footwork. You have to do something that's putting you on that wavelength to what it is that you're trying to call in.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. It's not just words, 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 words. It's
Yeah.
energy too.
Yeah. You got to put the energy in.
Even if you just read in books about it, you could read books about it. That's still you matching its energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you
I know.
said something, and you said something about her faith, like, a person's faith being shaken when you start saying whatever it is that don't match what they believe. But that's how you understand that faith, like you said, that faith and that belief is the same. Because like you said, when you have a knowing, it gets to the point that people can come around you and say anything, but because of that knowing, nothing
Mm-hmm.
they say about to change your faith or make you question it, because you already got the truth.
Right.
Right? People come
Right.
around me and they start talking and saying stuff that I know I researched on and I know where to find it at. And they be like, yeah, no, you know that shit going one end out the other. They be like, you're
Yeah.
not even listening. Listening for what?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
letting you talk. I'm not going to disrespect you, but I'm damn sure not listening, because you're not telling me nothing that I seen,
Right.
something that I acquired, something
Right.
that I knew I transformed in. You're not about to tell me nothing else. I hear
Yeah.
you though. I'm gonna let you speak, but
Yeah.
I'm not listening.
And one of my OGs, I call them OGs, but one of my teachers from when I was younger said, to hear and to listen is two different things. I hear you, but I'm not listening. You know what I mean? So yeah, I hear you and I can hear you, but why should I listen to something that I know it hasn't made sense to me all my life? It just don't make sense to me.
Yeah, because that's part
Right?
of them trying to transfer in your belief. You
Right.
trying to force me to listen so you can basically rewire my mind of what my knowing is. That's not going to be
Yeah.
possible, because I have the power of this knowing.
Yeah.
You don't got the power. I got the power.
Yeah. And that's what caused me to not use my magic when I was younger, because I was always told magic isn't real. Magic is make believe. Then I realized everything God said through word was quote unquote magic. And if we're made in the likeness of God, then and that breath of life was breathed into us, that same essence, why aren't we magic? You see what I mean? And so I was a young man thinking about this, like, how is it possible that we're not magical? You can call it something else if you want, but how is it not, what I mean? How is it not greatness? And that power is real. That energy is real. That same energy that said, let there be light, lives within me and in you and in all of us, So yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. For sure, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, this brother Ibrahim Traore, I think that's how you say it. Is that how you pronounce it, Dr. Sublime? Ibrahim Traore or Traore. But this brother's he's making real waves in the system. He's making waves all around the world, and he just like you see how, like the size of the country and the little like the the people that's around him, it don't seem as big as something like, Russia or what America got, but it's causing more ripples than they ever could do. And it's because he's standing on that knowing this isn't right. This has to change. You know, that's all it takes.
Yes, yes. Is they on? Hooks and Dr. Sublime, y'all in?
Yeah, I just came back right now.
I think
Okay,
Jay
Dr.
Hook stepped
Sublime, she
away
in the
for a
room?
second. Yeah, Dr. Sublime, you there?
She might have stepped away, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I think she might have stepped away.
Mm.
Dr. Sublime, you there?
Yeah.
yeah, it's the power in that brother's movement that's waking a lot of people up, and it's waking up the establishment like no other. They want to call him out his name. They want to call him everything under the sun, a terrorist. He's a global terrorist. And like the man said in the video, it's not he ain't even never stepped foot outside his country, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But how is he a global terrorist? Because he's a global threat. And you don't ever have to leave your home to be a terrorist, especially with the way the internet and technology is nowadays. You could be a terrorist right inside your home, according to these people, because you're going against their system, their economy, their monetary dollar. You're going against that and saying this has to change, and that's a problem.
And worst part about what he doing is to them is showing the world what real leadership look like.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
to
Take
be
it back to
a
work.
man, to be an actual man of the people.
Mm-hmm.
facts.
Uh,
Yep. And how you don't need a system to get by. That's what he's showing you. You don't need a government. You don't need all these things that they're telling you need to be directed. He's showing us this in real time, and they don't want you to see that.
Yeah,
They don't want you to see that.
mm-hmm.
They don't want you to see that.
yeah,
Facts.
Because this is what life was like before governments came. This is what it was. That's what it was before they put this construct together. It was every man for
Mm-hmm.
themselves, the people for the people, and we were supporting and loving the people. Again, like them two rats. That's the life we was living. We cared for each other. We helped each other. Everybody had their own niche. We would provide for each other depending on the niche that we supplied and the niche that we was into, and we would trade like that.
yeah,
Yep.
You got the chickens.
Facts.
I got the oxes. Hey, let's
yeah.
trade off some chickens for some oxes. You got the
Yeah,
beans, I got the corn. Hey, I'm gonna give you some corn for some beans. That's how we got
yeah,
along. That's how we provided for ourselves. That's how
that's right.
humanity got along. And it was
You
all
know,
peace and love. And the main thing, it was a man
right.
and a woman of their word. You said what you mentioned, you meant what you said, and you was
Hmm.
trusted by your word. It didn't
That's
have
right.
nothing to do
Mm-hmm.
with a dollar or no money. If you said you're gonna sew me a shirt Monday, I expect to see you come sew me a shirt Monday. If I said I'm
Yeah,
gonna have a pair of shoes available for you by Friday, you're gonna come pick up your shoes on Friday.
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it
And,
was.
and I may not have no
Like to
ox or chickens. I don't raise cattle or grow anything, but I got food because I can build your house or
Yeah,
fix up your roof. Your roof need
yeah,
fixing or whatever,
yeah.
and that, listen, we get back to that, it's gonna be a different story.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to get back to that because that
Uh,
sounds lovely.
Yeah.
That
me and
sounds
you
lovely.
both.
Yeah, because I seen this one guy, this video, man, and he snapped. He's sitting in his car. He literally just, you could tell he done been through it. He couldn't take it no more. And he turned on his camera. He said, "Why the f are we here? What is this?" He said, "I don't understand why we go into a store to buy groceries that was given to us for free." He was going in, he was going ham, but he
Mm-hmm.
understood. Sometimes it takes a minute. When it first hits you, that's how you feel. Whether you react that way or not, that's how you feel. I know I felt every bit of that because I was just watching this brother like, damn, he just came to his awakening, because it smacks you like a brick. Like, why are we doing all this? Why am I paying for this when this is all free? I should be able to go outside and plant my green peppers and onions and whatever and not have to, you know? What is going on here? What are we doing here?
I think the biggest thing is realizing that what's happening here is because we're allowing it to happen. We are the ones that when they say do this, if we do it, then we make it a thing. Now, if
Yeah,
we go against it, then it's not possible. Then it can't really be put into play or can't be manifested. People manifest these things and these rules and regulations because we start to abide by them, right? If they tell you at 8 o'clock every day, we want you doing 10 jumping jacks, some going to do it. Some going to say, I ain't about to do no 10 jumping jacks at 8 o'clock every day. Now, if a bunch of us don't do it, guess what? It never becomes a law.
Yeah.
But if everybody go and walk out their door at 8 o'clock every day, now it's law, right?
Yeah.
We make the law because we participate and add our energy to make it a real thing. So when we say, why is all this happening and why are we doing it? Why don't we stop? Why don't we send a memo and say, at this time we ending this, boom, it's over. At this time we ending this, boom, it's over, right?
Right.
I had to do it because they got us out here. We go to the markets, we buying groceries, right? And we gotta pay for the bags. Why do I gotta pay for the bags if I'm at your store buying your groceries?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You already got marked up.
Yeah.
You can pay for those bags the same way that a pizza shop pays for the napkins and the straws. I don't need to pay for no napkins.
It's part of the program. Yeah. So I said we need to stop functioning these markets that's not giving us bags. I can't carry no cart full of groceries to my car without bags. Why do I gotta pay for it? Do you want the money or not? That don't even make sense. Bring your own bag. Bring my own bag for the grocery. I might as well go out to the yard and go pick up my own peas and corn too with the bag.
Yep.
Why am I in here?
Yep.
Why am I here? You might as well open up the farm and let me go shop on the farm with my own bag. What? But because we allowed it, because we didn't stand up, because we didn't say no, we're not paying for bags, it became a thing. You see where I'm going with that?
Oh, yeah.
We have the control. We just fear the control. We fear being in control. We have the control.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people's problem too.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that's a real thing because I've had multiple conversations with different guys that's they don't know what to do with their free time. So they'd rather be at work because at least that occupies their mind. They flat out said, I don't like being off too much because I watch a little bit of TV and then after that I'm losing my mind. I'm going crazy. I don't know what to do, and it baffles me every time.
Yeah.
You know how much stuff you can do with your read some books.
Exactly.
Go to the nature trail. Spend time with your kids.
Listen.
They don't think about none of that. It's just, I don't watch enough TV and I'm bored now, and I'd rather be at work. Slave man, it's a real thing.
Yeah, and none of that came with the program. Everything you named that they have time to do was never part of the construct of the programming. But they gave you the TV, they gave you the radio, and they gave you the job in the car. And those are the things that they remember. Everybody say, "What you doing? Staying out the way, going to work, staying out the way." That's everybody lying. Going to work, staying out the way. That's all. You ain't reading that. You ain't go by the water. You ain't go sit in the sun. Like you say, you ain't go play with your family.
Yep. Pick up a new hobby. Learn how to paint. Learn how to play a guitar. Something like it's a million things you can do with your free time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Man.
It is, and that's what they labeled us as crazy. That we even consider crazy from following the system. We're considered crazy because we're allowing the system to trap us. Do you know that? You're considered crazy because you're following the rules and the laws of the fucking land that they gave you.
Yeah.
Because they know you could be free, but they know you don't know you could be free. And you crazy for not knowing that.
Well, I said they sit back laughing at us. We a big laughing stock to them. Yeah.
They said they had this video, and you know how they make the little cartoon videos, and the two aliens was talking, and the alien said, "You know, down there on Earth, they about $43 billion in debt." And the other alien said, "Well, who they owe it to?" Well, who they owe it to?
Wow.
Right?
That's crazy.
These commercials have you think, who do you owe it to? Because the person that making the money telling you in debt for the money.
Yeah.
Who they owe it to?
Facts. And the truth be told, we know this, but they don't owe it to nobody. They created that construct. You know, that's why it's such a beautiful word. That construct is what everybody believes. Oh, the national debt is $2.3 trillion or whatever it is. I just threw that number out there. but that debt is not real. They created it so that you would buy into the system and you would give away willingly, allow others to rob you of your hard-earned monetary dollar that we're using to globally to make this system go round.
Yeah. We can
Yeah,
see in real time that the only thing they needed for the system to exist is your belief.
that's it.
That's all they needed is your
That's
belief.
it.
If I can get you to believe this, I can get you to believe everything else. All I need is your belief.
That's right.
And that's why I get so excited because I seen that same video you talking about, Spec. And that's why I get excited every time I see a video like that. Because the more of us that start realizing it's all, because that's really all it's gonna take.
Yeah,
I personally think, I think things can change overnight if we get enough people to be like, you know what, enough is enough.
yeah,
But as long as we got enough people that's going along with the system, that just makes it harder for people like us.
yeah,
But the more people that come to that awakening and say, wait a minute, this some BS here.
yeah,
Then the more that we can change the narrative, the whole reality.
yeah.
Yes.
And that's why they say the revolution will not be televised, because it won't. It will happen overnight. There just needs enough energy towards it, and obviously not everybody's gonna have that awakening because it's not meant for everybody. However, the balance, once that balance comes into fruition, that's when everything it's gonna be like a light switch. It's just gonna be you know what I mean? It's gonna be a
When you
light
said
switch.
when you said that they said it's not going to be televised, I heard my listening and my spirit said it's not going to be televised because ain't going to be nobody to record it. They going to be walking with us.
Right, yeah. There it is. Yep. Yep.
They going to be walking with us. Ain't nobody going to be the recorder. We going to be recording in real time because we going to be making it. We going to be the shock to the system. Ain't going to be no recording. It's going to be a whole transformation. We talking about Power Rangers Deluxe.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
Power Ranger Deluxe over here.
Facts.
You
Yeah,
know?
ain't nobody gonna have their phones out or doing that. They just gonna be like, listen, I'm going to do this. I'm doing this tomorrow, and it's just gonna happen. I want to tell y'all a story. This is just a piece of the awakening that how it's gonna work, right? And how fast it'll happen. And this is a Cracker Barrel story. Y'all know the restaurant Cracker Barrel, right? So they changed their logo and they took away the barrel and took away the guy or something like that. And all across the nation and wherever they are in the world, everybody just stopped. And it wasn't like there was a protest or people that everybody just like, I'm not going. And they didn't have a soul in their restaurant. And it was all due to them changing the logo. Once they put the logo back, everybody said, "Okay, we'll go and we'll patronize your establishment again." And it was just that quick, and it happened overnight. Like there was nobody there. I mean, there was everybody there. They changed the logo, and then everybody was like, "I'm not doing this. You change no." And it was crazy. And that's just something as simple as a logo. So just imagine when people wake up and say, wait, this money ain't real, and start throwing it in the streets, burning it, this, that, and the third. They're going to have, what are we going to do? There ain't nothing you can do. That money means nothing to me anymore.
Yeah.
That's what they're afraid of.
Cause think about it. The moment we say money don't matter to us, it won't be in the hands of the people that it matters to. Remember that.
Fact.
Remember that.
Fact.
Remember that. The moment we say it no longer holds weight or it has no value, it will no longer be existed, and the person that gave it value will crash because their game is over.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
And really, we should be using social media platforms to be sending and trying to break messages like this. We are the ending and the beginning of all things. This is what social media really supposed to be being used for. All this other stuff we talking about is crazy. We supposed to be shutting shit down.
Yeah. That's
They
what it
saying,
was.
oh, they took them stamps. We canceling out the holidays. Let's see if y'all gonna do it. Cancel out the holidays. Cancel them
Yeah.
out.
Facts. I saw that video
Yep.
too, and it made so much sense. And we need to do that, not just because of the stamps. We need to do that just period.
Yeah, but
We
stop
ain't
talk.
going
But
to
listen, stop talking about it and be about it. I don't want
right,
this. Let me see. I want to see. I want to smell nothing but air in the air when it come to Black Friday and things. I mean, I want us to be having our own family dinners, but we ain't running
But
around like our chickens with a head come out. Ain't no Black Friday.
right,
Ain't no
right,
Christmas. Let's end it. Like this year, no Christmas. What's the problem?
right.
facts.
What's the
You
problem?
ain't you
Why
ain't doing
worry?
nothing but giving your money to some unknown entity or business anyway.
But not even that. Y'all complaining about food, but your food money right there for Christmas. So it's
Right.
gonna be food. There's gonna be gifts. You choose.
Yeah.
Because at the end
Yeah.
of the day,
Mhm.
while you're looking for this government to save you, you can save yourself by canceling out these holidays. You can
Fact.
have food money if you stop buying and spending and buying a bunch of stuff you really don't need. You don't need that
Yeah.
right now. Just
Don't
wait.
need it.
Yeah.
Just
Don't
wait.
need it.
My son's grandmother just bought him a Sonic toy. He broke it within hours, snapped the legs off. This thing dances and sings and does some other stuff. And that's why I told my wife, we not buying him nothing. He gets stuff that is like $1. It's breakable. Dollar Tree toys. That's what I buy him. I don't spend my time getting him stuff because he wants to find a way to smash it and demolish it or whatever. And maybe that's his mission. I don't get mad. I just know, why should I spend $1,000 like them people spending $2,000 back in the '90s for the Tickle Me Elmo and wear them Elmo dolls now? You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
know there's some parents out there like, damn, I spent $2,000 to get that toy. And what did I do? You know what I mean? What that child did with that toy after they got it. Broke it. They
I
don't,
That's
think
you
it.
know?
crazy.
I think it
Yeah.
points back to what Hook said about going to the root cause of it all. We're not even looking at these real holidays and why they were created. Everything we've been told about all these holidays are a lie. We have
Yes.
people that were killed and murdered for these holidays. We have
Yeah.
people that
Yep.
the names that they telling you was a celebration of is not the names. If
Yeah.
y'all know that this
Mhm.
system lied to you about all this stuff, why you don't think they lied to you about these holidays? Like it
Yeah.
don't make
Exactly.
sense. It really don't. Why can't we just for 1 year right now say no? Shut it down. What's the best that can happen? What's the best that can happen that you keep some money in your pockets? What's
Yeah.
the best that can happen? You taught your kids that everything is it's gifts and me and my kids stopped celebrating Christmas 5 years ago. You think they
Yeah.
feel less than kids? You think they feel like I don't love them? They don't
Facts.
care about none of
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you
And
know
I
why
don't.
Listen,
people
they
not
don't
going to do
care.
that?
Huh?
They're not going to do it because of ego.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ego and
Okay.
pride.
And
Ego and
pride.
Yep.
pride.
Ego and pride.
But
But
yet you
next door,
complaining about food. You talk
right.
about food. How that makes sense?
And you know what they're gonna say next door, the Joneses, they got their kids and everything, and they got a big tree, and they over there having a good
Exactly.
time, and it's that and third, and
This
it's
not
like,
monkey see monkey do. This
yeah,
is
I
not
don't
monkey
care
see
what
monkey
anybody
do.
did. You said 5 years ago, sis. I
5
wasn't
years
even on my
ago.
awakening, and it was at least, I'm thinking like it was before I went to the fence. So this was like 15 years ago and some change, maybe even more. Almost 20 years ago, I stopped. So I was like, man, I'm not celebrating this goofy ass holiday. All I
Mhm.
do is spend money to buy people gifts. I never expected anything, but I never received anything either. And I wasn't
Mhm.
expecting anything. But then at one time, I was like, how come I don't never receive nothing? And I said, why am I even doing this? And I was just like, man,
Mhm.
I'm not doing that no more. So I made myself disappear for that day. And I just go to the movies, being there by myself, you know what I'm saying, on Christmas Day, watching a movie or something. That's how I first saw Django. Came out on Christmas Day. I'm like, listen, I'm just not doing this anymore. So I found a new tradition for myself until I could find something else to, you know what I mean? Now the day comes and goes, and you know what I look at that day as? It's a good tip. That's good tip money.
You,
That's all it is.
you know what's crazy? When I look around my house, I open up my closet doors. I go in my basement. I got all this stuff stuck in bags and boxes and bins that I done spent money on that I don't even touch.
Yeah.
The day I decide to go and I pass away, guess what they doing with all that shit? Throwing it in the trash.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay? I
Or
got
having a yard
bins and
sale.
closets of clothes that I haven't worn since I bought them maybe the summer ago. I got papers. I got equipment that I bought and used, and it's just boxed up as if I don't even have it. That's the
Yeah.
money that's sitting there. All this
Yeah.
money and all these holidays I collected that I'm not even using this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm buying stuff on top of
Mhm.
stuff on top of stuff, and it's just collecting dust.
Yeah.
But yet I'm
Sound
thinking I need more stuff. That don't make sense.
right.
It's
It
really
sounds
blocking
like
my energy. When you think of it, all this stuff is blocking our energy.
yeah.
That's what it do.
It
That's
sounds like
literally
a
what it
yard
do.
sale in the making, sis. That's what I would do. A yard sale.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah,
telling my wife
Mhm.
that, man. I'm like, look,
yeah.
all these shoes and all this stuff you do not use, just have a yard sale.
Jackets and
Donate
hoodies
it even.
and yeah,
You know what I
just
mean? We don't
house
got
of
enough
stuff.
space.
Blankets,
Yeah.
bins of blankets you ain't laid in since you bought them.
Yeah.
Piling up bins of blankets and sheets and
Yeah. I don't even use blankets, even in the wintertime. I sleep underneath a sheet and I'm good because I run hot. My hands are always sweating. I'm always overly hot. So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
But
listen.
I say that to say is that we don't realize that in the moment of things, we just want things because we want it. But we want it and we get it, and then we don't realize we no longer want it. Like we no longer admire it. We no longer have a need for it. And that's the point I'm making when I say that it's okay for us to cancel a holiday. You got everything you need. And if you ain't got it, it's not to say you can't get it, but you ain't got to get it on this day. You ain't got to go and bunch up in there with a bunch of billion people, making sure that these rich people get rich while they telling you poor. You letting them tell you poor, but you keeping them rich.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
Exactly.
Right. And
You
we
up there
not
talking about how the system is destroying you, but you helping it destroy you. Make it
right.
make sense.
Right. You ain't poor and you ain't broke. You being robbed. Goofy. It's time to
You
wake
just
up.
lacking knowledge. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're lacking knowledge and you're not applying it to make it make sense. You're looking for somebody else to make something make sense for you, and that's your job.
Yeah.
If you don't like how it's being done, stop participating in it. Point blank, period.
Fact.
Everything is running according to our participation. Point blank, period. And if you don't like it, stop it. Stop it.
Yep.
That's simple.
Let's
That's
get
why I say
together and stop it.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
To go against the system, you don't have to be out here marching. You don't have to be on
Yeah.
YouTube. You don't have
Yeah.
to do none of that.
You don't got
Like you say, just stop participating in the foolery. That's
Yeah.
going against the system.
That's
You
going
know?
against the system. That's starting to change.
People scared to do that. People scared to do that.
Yeah.
Listen, but they not scared to run their mouth and drain their energy with the problems all day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You could dwell in what ain't happening, but you won't help make something happen. That
Yeah.
don't make sense.
Yep.
Yeah. And
It don't make
here's what
sense.
I know, you know, it don't make sense to us, but it makes sense to them because when I
It don't
was
make sense to them either. They just
when I
can't
was
make sense of why
reveling,
it don't make sense.
but hear me now, right? When I was reveling in that same mindset, it was relieving some sort of, it was causing more stress. You know, I didn't realize that then, but like when you exert energy and exert anger or whatever, like you feel just a little bit relief. It's only momentary. That's what we don't realize. It's temporary. It's not a real sense of relief. So that's why a lot of people keep doing, like, you know, you hear some people like, oh, he just that person just got to have something to complain about. It's because for that moment they get to get out that frustration, and instead of getting it out in a different way, you know, they don't know any better, so they just complaining about the same problem that they're actually contributing to creating for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And that don't make no sense. But
Yes.
you know, in our minds, in that state of mind, we see it as, we think we're, you know, and we may even say, we may even drop some gems during that complaint, but we not willing to say, like people complain about their job or whatever, but they won't go get another job where they feel fulfilled and, you know, feel happier. filled with joy at doing that job. They won't go do that. They'd rather
Mhm.
complain about the job, continue to complain about it, and then they want you to listen to it. You
Right.
know?
But I
Mhm.
think so that's the thing. Like, so when we say that, I want people to understand what we mean by that. Because I know people be like, it's not that easy to just go get another job. No, it's not like that. It's when you start complaining about something that you don't like, then you start seeking slowly and surely, applying yourself to find something. We're not saying just quit your job and jump out there. No, start seeking information to get something better. Start applying yourself to other jobs. Start filling out applications. Start making those interviews on the days that you're off. Things like
Yeah,
that. That's what we're mean by start looking for something better, so you don't have to sit in that energy and feel like you're stuck and got to deal with or go do something that no longer serve you. That's what
right.
we saying when we say that. We're not just
Yeah,
saying, oh, quit your job and say, oh, I'll get another one. No, because I know that sometimes people need to hear it that way because they get upset when,
yeah,
oh, it's not that easy. No, what we're saying is start applying yourself and start looking for better while you're there, so you don't
yes,
have to sit in that complaint and
yeah.
energy too long. You
And
know what I'm saying?
this,
That's what I'm saying. Make it work for you.
yeah,
Don't. That's what
and
I'm
this
saying.
too, sister, and people can also, instead of complaining about it, and oh man, I can't stand this job, and this heifer at this job, or this dude, or this whatever. You know what? I'm gonna find me a different job. I'm gonna work this until I find a different job. I'm gonna work this until I find a
Mhm.
different job. Just saying that will speak more life into you and more life into what you want for yourself than sitting around complaining about it, because all the universe understands is frequency and energy. That's all it understands. It does not understand English, Spanish, whatever language you speak. It doesn't understand that. It understands your frequency. So if your frequency is, I can't stand this place, blah, 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 you're just going to create more of it. And that's why a lot of people don't
Mhm.
realize they will never get out of that cycle until they break the way they're talking about something. And I know that
Yep.
firsthand. I've been practicing that for quite some time, or been doing that, I should say, for quite some time, and it has been a life changer. It changed my life because I was in that position. Just what I can't stand this. I can't stand that. Can't stand this. Can't stand that. And that energy is just, you know what? Started saying something different. Like, listen, I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna fix that. And everything, lo and behold, some stuff started happening literally overnight. Waking up like, and there's a change in the air. It's just different now. And then things started coming to what I wanted. I'm just like, okay, I got to keep doing this.
Mhm.
This is where it's at.
Yep. And then
You
just be
know?
grateful too for the job that you do have,
Yeah,
because it's definitely easier to find another job while you have one. Because I went for a
yeah,
good
Yeah.
period of time where I wasn't really getting no calls back. And then once I finally got a little job, now I got all these other offers on the table. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So
yeah,
yeah, definitely just be grateful for the job that you do have,
yeah,
and
yeah.
take
Yeah.
Gratitude
advantage
is the number one
take
thing.
advantage of that time and start applying while you do have that source of income.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because
Mhm.
sometimes you could talk yourself out of your job by being so low vibrational where you end up getting fired or getting into a situation that now you done spoke so bad about being there that the universe said you wanted out. So it took you out by any means
Yeah,
necessary.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Facts. And gratitude is number one, on top of everything I said. So gratitude first, and then what I was saying, and then what I'm saying, apply what the Queen Empress Oracle was mentioning about. Let me start applying. Let me, and sometimes you can do it in a different order. You can do Queen Oracles first and then mine, but make sure gratitude comes first.
Mhm.
That energy is just, oh man, that's a powerful source of energy right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, family. Had something I was dealing with, but I was tuning in at the same time too. But
Okay.
a lot of times, even when we don't like a job, we gotta check ourselves. When we don't like co-workers and colleagues and stuff like that, we gotta check our very own self too. You understand? Why is
Yeah,
it I'm here? What is it I'm supposed to be learning here? What am I supposed to be
Mhm.
depositing here? You
Yeah.
understand? Because a lot of times we're looking at on the outside for what
Mhm.
needs to be done on the inside, and we need to work on and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
so a lot of times we need to like Specker says, look in the mirror. You understand the change you want to see. Be the change. Be the
Mm,
change. Like a job I was on. When I showed up, I know I used to irritate some people because I'm
Mhm.
always I come in positive. Back then I used to say, "Good morning, God's people. How are y'all this morning?" You understand? I
mm,
go on there with this hype. I wasn't letting nobody. I'm telling you, hey, I would
oh
irritate some.
man, you was pissing them off.
uh,
What? And
Well,
they
when
tell me,
you
just
just
you can hear you from all the way down the corridor. So every day, so she said that. I used to shout it from the corridor. Good morning, God's people. How y'all doing this
oh
morning? How's
my god,
everybody?
oh.
And
When
I
you
got
said
so
that,
many.
I pictured people just in the corner, like, here come this
Yeah,
again, man. Every day, man. Then they mood is just so messed up because they just
mm,
didn't
every
realize the light, the power, and the help, and the the good glad tidings that you were bringing. And man,
and I
I'm
was
so
just telling
glad I'm not in
them.
that energy no more, man. Like,
Listen, they used to set up traps and things for me to fail. They try and get me fired, but every time they try and get me fired, it backfire on them, and a lot of them get themselves fired. You understand? Because what I
wow,
showed up with this big energy every time. You understand?
right?
So yeah, at one point I can tell you the truth. I think I need to get off of this job. I need to get off this job, but I still showed up as my own authentic self. I didn't let them shake me to make me start acting like somebody who I wasn't. You understand? I because when I realized when I left, when I was leaving, when I had finally said and put in my resignation, I did not even understand the magnitude of the impact of the people's lives that I influenced just by showing up every time, in spite of
mm,
the ones who were irritated and agitated and stuff like that. But there were people who were impacted and encouraged and to continue to stay on that job because I showed up as my authentic self. And they came to me afterwards when they found out I was resigning. They said, even my HR manager, no, just take a leave of absence for 6 months. We will hold your job for you. You don't have to retire. You don't have to resign. I said, no, I'm moving on to the next now. I can't stay here no more. My time here finished. So when your HR manager tried to beg you to just take a leave of absence and stuff, she said, just in case what you're doing ain't gonna work, you could take 6 months to go and check that out. And if it didn't work good for you, you could come back here. So I said, no, I know it's gonna work good for me because wherever I go, it gonna work for me. Yeah, I didn't
mm,
go with no optimism that it ain't gonna work. It's impossible. Anything I go, I go in it to make for it to work. I don't go with I wonder if this can work. No, sir. No, You understand? And so some of the other staff, they say, you really leaving, Miss Charmaine? You really, really leaving? I say, yes, I am. Oh man, we gonna miss you, boy. We gonna miss you. I say, what? Y'all gonna be, I say, as much hell as y'all trying to give me on this job, y'all gonna talk about y'all gonna miss man. But show up. Yes, you may not like the environment, you may not like the people, you may not like even your boss, or you understand. But when you show up as your authentic stuff and not let people break you, buddy, oh man, I can tell you, it's an awesome thing. It's an awesome feeling to walk away from a place, accomplished and fulfilled, knowing that you was authentically you and you left an impact.
Yeah,
You
mm,
know? Yeah, man. Yeah.
yeah. I'll
But
never
you
yeah,
forget
can't let
Patty creating a job for me. Said, you
Mhm.
no, you're not leaving. I said, I gotta go. What you talking about? No, 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 you're not leaving. Just give me, give me a little time to think about this. And at the end of the shift, she was like, I got something you can do, and you won't have to be here to do it. And I was like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah, that.
doing everything to hold on to you. That's when you know that you're making an impact in a place when people try. when I was teaching, when I was in the classroom teaching, I had parents, because I was teaching a private school. I had parents begging my principal, "Oh, I want my child to go inside class, please. I don't want to go in the next teacher class. I want to go in that class there." Because my students used to brag about their teacher. They used to be bragging on the playground. They used to be bragging when they go and have a lunch. "We have the best teacher in the school, boy. She's so good." That's like, listen, these children. And the parents, I used to stay after school. Sometimes if some of my students in up to par with their work, I used to stay volunteer. I didn't, not even for no extra charge. I just had a love for anything I do it with a love, with pure, uncut love.
Yeah.
You understand? Students from other classes used to want to come and just hang in my class and for me to help them with their schoolwork and stuff like that. Why? Because you show up as your authentic self. I can take staying present. You understand? Staying
Yep.
positive. Yeah.
Yeah. How you
Because
do
I'm
one
not
thing is
saying,
how you do everything.
let me tell you something. It's not to say that you don't have those days of wondering and those days of wanting to give up and those days of wanting to quit. But even though you have those days, you don't let those days have you.
Mm,
Right.
You don't let those
Right.
days dictate to you how you show up. Because those things come in as a feeling. And when you take captive that feeling, it makes a whole difference inside somebody else's life. That same person who was treating you like crap, if you keep on showing up as their authentic self, eventually that mask they have on, they can take it off.
yeah.
See,
Mhm.
some of the people who try to treat me like crap. Nah, some of my biggest celebrators, my boy, huh? She got some stupid fake boy. Boy, she got some crazy fake. This woman, we see her on the job. There's
Mm,
be some of your biggest cheerleaders after you don't leave out of their environment because they see everything they try to break you didn't break you.
you know what it was too, sister. A lot of them, and most of them actually, didn't know that they were doing this, but their energies, their spirits were so guarded because we've been trained to be this way. And we're
Mm,
so guarded, we're like, okay, but once they realize, they're like, okay, this woman is real. She's not just pretending. I can trust her. And the spirit finally lets their guard down, you know? And so that
mm,
was that. I know that was the case for quite a few people that I've had dealings with, and I know this now. I didn't know it then. I just respond because that's how I was trained and how I was taught to respond in this way when somebody says this or when somebody does that. So, but it was a lot of their spirit was just like very guarded because you were a certain way, and it was like they wanted that energy but they didn't trust you that you were real. It's like, and so here come this B again with this, grand rising morning and all this other craziness. And I don't want to hear that right now because I'm miserable with myself. But once they
mm,
realize,
Mhm.
okay, I have the mask on, I'm looking through a different set of goggles, and I need to
mm,
remove these or put on a different pair in order to see clearer, whatever have you, whatever metaphor you want to apply to it.
mm,
That's when they realize, okay, wait, I'm losing something valuable. I'm losing something great. Or not losing, but I'm gonna be missing out on something beautiful here. And so now I want to at least extend my gratitude. And those people they're thinking to themselves, like, damn, I wish I would have spent more time with her. I wish I didn't attempt to tear her down. Man, I probably could have got so much hugs and love from her or whatever. You know what I mean? They
mm.
realize that after you're gone.
Yeah.
They definitely
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
let me tell you something. You know when you know you're impactful? When the management of the organization is I would say compromising, but they're willing to do whatever it takes to keep you there, to keep you there because they
Mhm.
know that energy that you bring brings about a whole lot of change and brings about a whole lot of activity being done.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, my boss used to say, you call the staff man. When you call them, yes, come to work. But if I call them, they ain't coming.
Yeah.
That's
Telling
crazy.
you.
Wow.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
so the system, there again, we know how to think about a hacker. We know how to hack the system when it comes to the cheat codes and stuff like that. We are the cheat code.
Yes.
We are the cheat code to the system. Our
Yes.
change
Yeah.
of mind, our vibration is a cheat code to the system.
Yeah.
Facts.
The Empress Oracle P was saying something relative to that, just in different wording earlier. Of surrounding our topic today, which was about the establishment, and it's like they know the power that is within us. We don't even know.
Yeah,
Not we as in the tribe, but there we were once there too. That's why I always say we, and I want those listening to
mhm,
understand that. That's why I always say we, because we were also there, but we don't even know the power that's within us. They do, and that's what they are attacking. So Ibrahim Traore, how do you is that how you say his name, sister?
yeah, Traore. Yeah.
Traore, that's why they attack this brother with these words and these rhetorics, and he's a global
Mhm.
terrorist. Like, who is he terrorizing? You know what I'm saying? He's not terrorizing his people. His people are clapping and cheering for him and saying, keep going and go ahead. And he's had, I don't know how many assassination attempts. The last I heard, it was like 16 or something like that. I think it might be at like 20
So
something
much,
now.
so much, so
Like,
much.
so yeah, like they just keep listen, you not he's here to do something, and he has been chosen. And we had this topic before about chosen ones, and when you're chosen or when someone else is chosen, because they not being touched. And when they not
Yeah,
being touched, that means they have been ordained, they have been anointed by the most high to say, okay, you need to go and we need to get this balance back in order, because
yep,
it's out of balance, it's out of whack, and the energy is fed up and you can feel it. So what this brother's doing
Mhm.
is monumental. And
yeah,
man, this time in history is going to be talked about the most. And I believe that I feel it. And I think this time in history that we're living right now is going to be talked about the absolute most. And people are going to say to those, to some people, where were you at when the world changed? What did you do to offer,
mhm,
your part of changing that world? And there's some people that's going to say, I didn't do a damn thing. As a matter of fact, I was conforming to the system, unbeknown,
Mhm.
whatever. But that was my role, I guess.
I
And
was an MPT.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I did.
perfect. I was an NPC. You know,
LBC.
I don't know. Hearing that, like hearing you say that, like where was you at when the world changed? I don't know. I just got this thought just now, and it's just like they still gonna be in the world because it's not gonna change for them.
ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah,
Mm.
nice.
Yeah, they still gonna be in that. That change for us not gonna affect them because their vision hasn't changed, their mindset
Yeah,
hasn't changed,
yeah,
their trajectory hasn't changed, so they're gonna still be implemented
In the
in that
loop.
system.
In the loop. In the
yeah,
loop.
Yeah, unless it fully breaks, like you said, like everything breaks, then that's different.
yeah,
But then they still gonna have some psychological problems because they're not gonna believe it. They're not gonna know
yeah,
what you know what I'm saying. They're gonna be hurt.
yeah. And that's what I think's gonna happen too, sis. We're gonna have a lot of people confused and lost, and mental
Well,
health
deeper than they
sickening.
already are because they already confused and lost. They just don't know it yet until it
Yeah,
breaks.
they just
Then they're
don't
gonna be
know it
like,
yet.
"Well,
Yeah,
dang."
and when the glass shatters and
Mhm.
everything breaks, they're gonna be, what the hell? They gonna be, yeah. We're gonna have to. They're gonna be entering insane asylums or whatever for a time
Yeah,
until
and they
they
got
can.
enough of them. But it's
Yeah.
2:42, so we could play these videos because it's about to be a time to up.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Most definitely. Let's Let's get into that. Whoops.
Just because we don't want to allow you to fuck over us no more, Abraham TRAORE. He's a global terrorist. That nigga ain't never been outside his country, but he's a global terrorist. That nigga ain't never stepped foot outside his country, but he a global terrorist, nigga? How is that possible? They military don't have any goddamn weapons that could travel. All they got is guns. They ain't got no drones. They ain't got no planes like that, no war planes, but they are a threat globally. But you ain't got nothing to attack, nothing on the globe. So tell me, how are they a threat globally if they don't have anything to do anything to anybody outside their own country? So y'all telling me something, but am I smart enough to realize what the fuck you telling me?
Right.
Oh, he is a global terrorist because they natural resources will fuck up the globe if the nigga don't continue to allow y'all to fuck over him. Y'all terrified globally that if this nigga
don't share what
he's... That's what it is. Y'all terrified. The nigga is a global terrorist. He got all the entire globe shook up because now if we allow this nigga to do this, the country next door gonna realize. And then the country next door to them and the country on top of them and the country over there. Oh, that's why he's a terrorist, because this nigga can possibly wake up an entire continent that y'all been relying on for centuries.
The world.
That y'all say is a poor fucking country, a poor continent, a poor nations of people. But y'all entire existence relies on it.
Yeah.
Facts.
And not just the continent, the world, he gonna wake up. He's already done that. He's waking up the world.
Well, see, another thing that make this little clip so powerful is that it's also showing history repeating itself. Because when you go back to the, I don't know, the 60s, 70s, whatever, you know, those old gang leaders, Larry Hoover, Jeff Ford, and so many others, you know, that was really bringing change and bringing togetherness. They was labeled as terrorists and all these big time criminals and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? What they do. So it's the manipulation for me. And I'm sitting back listening to this brother just like, when are people gonna get over the manipulation? Like he said, when he just laid it out like that, how can you label him that? You know? Yeah. How can you label him that when, like you said, he don't have none of the stuff that I think that would classify him as a global threat? But it's the manipulation. It's the people that's gonna see that. They gonna hear that narrative, or he's a global threat, blah blah blah, and they gonna run with it.
Yeah, regular, you know
common
folk too.
Yep.
Yeah, our neighbors.
But this is what they've been doing to us for forever. Anytime we Black Wall Street and all that stuff. Anytime we started building, coming together, creating unity, stopping these gang beefs, they always found a way. You know, they always found a way to relabel it and point the finger at us.
Yeah.
So we gotta get over this manipulation, and that's why I said people love to look at the effect, but we gotta pay. We forget about the cause.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah, so it's all about propaganda. If I keep on spewing that information, or they keep cycling it in the algorithm, eventually I get somebody to believe it. Because who killed Gaddafi? They turned his own people against him.
Yeah.
You understand? They turned his own people against him, and so they spewed the narrative long enough and hard enough that people believe what they were saying. Oh, if y'all don't get rid of him, he's gonna do this to y'all, and he's gonna do the next thing. Blazzy squazzy, daddy, laddie, daddy, and all they mommy and all that stuff. You understand? And so we got to what you call it. This is where when you know yourself, know thyself. I mean, everybody can come into this truth like how we doing it, but we can't stop giving it because everybody coming into it. We don't know who's going to listen to this year, next year, 5 years from now. We don't know. Everybody's on a personal journey to get to where they need to be. Our job is to leave paper trails, paper markings, droplings that they could find, that something would click inside of them. They say, "Ooh, when I reach in 2025 December, I'm gonna listen to this high vibe tribe from 2024."
Yeah.
So they may just be listening to us in December 2025, but we done spill out so much information in 2024, they may come across a clip. Or in 2030, they may become across this information of 2025.
Yeah.
And oh Lord, this is what I was thinking. These people were dropping these things from way back then.
Yeah.
We would be like, you understand? And so
Mhm.
once we know that
Yeah.
our our part in this matrix is to leave paper trail for people to be able to wake up.
Yeah. I didn't
Not even
find
say
some
to wake,
people, sister,
not even say
until
to wake
after
up.
they had passed.
Not even say to wake up. Let me say not to say that when they wake up on they on their personal journey, waking up, evolving. You understand? So they would these would be paper marks for them to come into their continue in their consciousness. You understand?
Yeah.
And that's because we all on an individual journey, even though we come here collectively, we also have our individual journeys that we are on.
Mhm.
You know, and so this system, when people start hearing, well, I was feeling this about the system. I wasn't sure about the system, but now I'm hearing this information from the high vibe tribe about the system and what's going on and all this different stuff and me in the matrix. That explains what I was feeling or what I was thinking. So they're connecting the dots,
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
so this number, he's just dropping it back. Listen, you're calling this man this, and this man never traveled outside of his country.
Yeah.
You're saying that
Mhm.
about him, and he even using the material in his own country to make destructive stuff.
Hmm.
You understand? You can't find one country on the continent of Africa, not one, that have the materials for nuclear weapons, that manufacture nuclear weapons, that
Hmm.
have the raw material to manufacture bullets and guns and ammunitions and all these different things that create them here. No country.
I heard they make the nuclear weapons out of us, out of our DNA.
Out of our melanin.
Yup.
Out of our melanin.
Mhm.
You know. Um, so they use our melanin for so many different experiments, and I'm talking about from all the way back in the 1950s. They was pulling our melanin and using it in their experiments and stuff like that. Now, how you think they know how to put melanin inside sunscreen? That's to tell you how long they've been doing this practice.
Exactly.
Sunscreen got melanin. When you put sunscreen on you and you put it underneath the UV light, that person turning that's black. That's melanin. They artificial melanin. Spreading on them.
Yeah.
But
And then
hey,
meanwhile, they pushing propaganda talking about black people need sunscreen the most.
okay,
Yeah.
you don't need no
When I heard that
sunscreen.
commercial on the radio, I couldn't do nothing but laugh. I'm just like, man, these people they just play in our face
Yeah.
all
Every
day.
day, every day, and if you let them,
Yep.
they'll steal your dog and kill your cat.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
thing is, we're the ones that's falling for the trash, you know,
Mm.
and gold and diamonds and you know fruits and vegetables
Yep.
is falling from the sky, but we're picking up the scraps, the with the rinds and the core of the apple after it's already been eaten. We're picking up the trash. You know, we're going for the wrapper because we're told that wrapper because it's shiny and it's got that cellophane
Shiny.
clearness or whatever that is special, and that's what we're going after, and it's right in our face, and it's like, how come this person has this but I don't have that? Like, we're falling for it. At the end of the day, globally, we're falling for the rhetoric.
Mhm.
Because they put us in their education system.
Yeah,
Edu on, you know. They put you in they put you in their system. And how long early a mother got to go to work? So from her, she only when she get what to go on maternity leave, they only give her 3 months maternity leave. So that ain't no time to bond with her baby. So 3 months she got to now go put her child in the daycare system,
yeah,
and then the
Mhm.
preschool system, then the primary school system. So you don't have time to bond with your child
right. And then you
to
just put them in
instill some of
after
the things.
school
Because you
program.
get home from work, you're so tired and you're so burned out, you have nothing else to pour into into your family.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And let's not
You
forget the
know.
after school programs like the YMCA, because you gotta work late and you're not able to get them off the
Exactly.
bus. So straight from school, you going right to the YMCA. You come home,
Mm-hmm.
you eat dinner, and then it's time for bed.
Time for bed.
Homework
Mhm.
and then time for bed. So you school still it follows you all the way home. It's
What
like,
did your teacher say? Listen to your teacher when you go to school. When your teacher tell you to do it. So you giving the authority to your teacher to
Mhm.
train and equip your child not only with education, with arithmetic and English and science and stuff like that, but moral conduct.
Exactly. Yeah. 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 You already telling them
Yeah.
they have to follow a structure outside of themselves and telling them they should follow, and whatever they say to do, they supposed to do. Yeah.
You,
Yep.
you, so
Yeah.
you
Fact.
gotta teaching your child moral conduct, and that teacher come with whatever spirits from the night before, the day before, and they spewing that into your child's life. They bring that aura into that classroom. They bring in that spirit and that energy into that classroom, which your child got to sit underneath that. And
yeah,
then the lunch cafeteria with the lunch woman who come in and she come with her bad attitude and scratching her backside and feeding your child food. It
yeah,
doesn't matter. Ah,
yeah. The lunch lady was always nasty too. She
But
always.
think about this too. Think about this too, Dr. Sublime. What about the mother? We're coming home. We're angry. We're upset. We don't want to be bothered. We're pushing a child away. We yelling. We screaming. That's also
Yeah,
teaching them their moral compass. We had
yeah,
a long day. You know what I'm saying? That it starts there too.
yeah,
system over, you now in a system overload because as a mother who's supposed to be the nurturer, you ain't the other mother. You're the birther. You bring that vessel into this realm.
Yeah.
One. Number two, you're now supposed to feed and nurture that vessel. Then you gotta educate that vessel. You're supposed to be the doctor to that vessel. You're supposed to be you understand? But you now gotta go out there, leave the home and go in that environment. And then when you come back with that attitude and that anger that you pick up out there because daddy done gone and this one
yeah,
done do this and your boss done do the next thing. And you turn around and tell your child, you so dumb, you so stupid, you're so retarded, you just like a no good father, and all these different things. You're speaking into your child's life and destroying that child's destiny.
yeah,
Exactly.
And I gotta grow up and try to fight its way out of the bottom of a barrel because all that what the mother did. Not even before you said the teachers too, yes, but even when the mother do hold so much more because she carried that child in the vessel, she's that the authority in that child's life.
Yeah. That's the child's first God right there. Before it's
The
Twitter
child.
God, that's the child's first God. Yeah.
I've been having, you know, and I'm not paying too much attention to it, but it's been like a second thought in my mind because when I was my son's age, even younger, I could read and stuff like that, and I had a bigger vocabulary, and part of me is like, damn, maybe I should have taught him more But then there's a deeper part of me that's just like, let him be, because I knew all the stuff I knew because I didn't have a childhood. My childhood was taken from me, right? So that's when I was like, that's the bigger part of me that's like, nah, go, I think I'm doing the right thing, and y'all correct me if
Well, I mean, my kids, I raised my kids, and I'm all for them being, but it's still moral compass, like she said. It's still things we have to teach them, their characteristics, how they talk to
well,
people,
right,
how they
right.
treat people.
I just mean
All
as
of
far
that
as
is
like the
something they're going to
reading.
get from you because they you have to have some structure there to tell them, no, that's wrong. No, that's not how you talk to people. No, that's not how you treat people. No, you be respectful of people.
Yeah,
No, you
yeah,
treat people how you want to treat
I
it.
do that.
Yeah.
I'm more talking about like as far as like reading and he knows his ABCs and he can count and stuff like that. He just he hasn't got the letters. Like I could read and write at his age, and
Listen, let me
he's
tell you
not reading and
something.
writing yet.
You
So
cannot
that's
watch
discouraging me
this.
a little bit, and I'm like, I have to keep
Let me
telling
help you
myself
with
that I'm
that,
doing the
Spec.
right
Let
thing.
me help you with that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me help you with that because as a teacher, let me tell you, I had a classroom with 10, 16-year olds. 10, 16-year-olds. And you would think that all 10 of those 16-year-olds should be at the same level. No, every child learns differently at a different pace and a different level.
Yeah.
And because this is system now tell you when they reach one, they should be doing this. And when they reach two, they should be doing this. The system give you these markers. When you see your child as an individual,
Mm-hmm.
and not a part of the system and comparing him to somebody else,
Yeah,
Yeah.
myself.
then you understand he is now or she is now learning at their level, at their speed, at where they are at. Because
Right.
their focus may not be on maths. And we push it. 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 2 is 4. Their focus may be on tactile, breaking down a car and putting it back together again, going into a computer and and reprogramming and all these different things. But we're so busy on the markers that society, the system tell us that our children should be doing, and we do more damage than we do good.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Especially knowing that you saying that it's just you're saying that you're not okay that your son hasn't adapted to the structure of the system. That's what you're saying.
Right, and that's what part of me has been saying, and the other part, the deeper part of me is like, nah, brother, you doing just right. He don't need to be reading and writing right now just because you were. And then the thought came to me where it was like, you were reading and writing at that age because your childhood was robbed. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I mean? You were taught certain things so that you could be a babysitter, so that you could cook
Yeah,
and
you was in a
clean.
fight or flight mode, you
Oh,
was in a survival mode. He don't have to be in a survival mode.
Right. He don't
right,
have
He
to
could
be a
be
part of the program that fast. He don't have to
right,
already get
right.
aligned with this program because that's what we're
And
doing. We forcing our kids into the program and getting upset when they're not aligning, like she said, with the
right,
implements. And I'm saying, well, he's this year's old. He should be doing this. No, he shouldn't. If he
yeah,
wanted to, he would. Maybe
and that
something
was
about
just
what you're trying to teach him isn't resonating with his spirit, and he's not ready to adapt to it.
right. And what's crazy is I've never like pushed it that I just I just showed him a few things. Oh, this is how you do A, and this is how you do B or whatever. And he's got a couple of the letters he can write a little bit, but he's not at the level that I was when I was his age, and that is what was discouraging me. But then that inner spirit was just like, man, don't focus on that because he's got a lot of smarts that I didn't have at that age either. And it's
Mhm.
because he's been allowed to play. He knows certain things that I never knew at that age. He tell me stuff
Mhm.
that I know it comes directly from source. It's a knowing it comes directly from source, and he'll come to me for no apparent reason to be like, "Daddy, it's gonna be okay." And how I was in here, thinking about something, and here you come saying it's gonna be okay, just out of nowhere. He's in the other room watching something, come running here just to tell me, "Daddy, everything it's gonna be okay." But
Mhm.
he had no I didn't say anything. I was just in here by myself thinking to myself like, damn, how am I gonna get this? How am I gonna do this? So how am I gonna figure this out? And he'll just come out of nowhere, out of his room. He'd be in there playing, and then come in, Daddy, it's gonna be okay. Like he's tapped in a whole nother way. So I have to keep telling myself, don't worry about that structure that they want to put him in, because he's gonna learn it, but he's gonna do it on his own time.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I gotta run, family. I'm starting work tonight, so I
Yeah,
gotta start at later this evening. So I gotta get some rest. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap out. Um, Powerful conversation. Um, so this conversation uplifted me a little bit, So but the tribe always do that, So I
yeah,
just appreciate
definitely.
y'all as always. Hope somebody was able to learn something to, at least resonate with the information. And again, chosen ones, we rise, and together we rise.
Everybody, make sure y'all smash that like button.
Jay,
I
Jay.
pray that the Oracle
Hey,
tap is able to tap in. We can do our closing arguments. I mean, closing thoughts arguments. I was watching something else earlier, but we get our closing
Yeah.
thoughts out, and you
Yeah.
know,
And Jay Hooks, I want to say, wait, or Jay Hooks, I'm going. Yeah, dear family, it's just always so good to be able to come together to share, to be able to reason, come and sit down and reason together, and then
yeah,
recognize the system that is continuously trying to lead and direct us and pay and become more focused and more centered. You understand? And paying attention to what is being pushed down our throat, the narrative that's being pushed. That video speaks volume of the narrative that was being pushed about a young man who just have a heart and love and a passion, not only just for the job that he did as being a military man, but a love for his country and a love for this continent and a love for the people,
yeah,
and seeing that and what he saw and what he see is that there's so much more that can be done in his own country with the resources that his country produce.
yeah,
And so it's sad to know that there's still bullies out there, economic bullies. You understand, who believe that they should be the ones controlling other people's finances and resources and stuff like that.
yeah,
So pay attention. We got to pay attention. We got to pay attention. We got to be present, as the Queen Oracle always say, present, patient, positive. But being present is the thing, right? We have to be, because it is um the matrix. It's imploding, but even as it's imploding, it's trying to carry as much people with it as it can, trying to keep as much people down, dumb down to the fact of what's happening. But the more of us that connect, the more of us that can encourage, the more of us that can build up one another, the more we pull each other out of the system,
yeah,
you know. Okay.
yeah,
Her computer just died. That was happened to me too. The phone, my one phone died. To come on the next one, that's the queen saying her computer just died.
yeah,
Yeah. And so, as I say, we are on a journey, and let us continue to be gentle with ourselves on this journey, because we have the capacity and the ability to be able to pull ourselves up and out of the matrix. Much love, family.
yes, yes. We we actually, we understand Ibrahim's road that he's taken, and it's important that we recognize that his love goes far beyond his country. It goes to how the world can actually coexist and how it can really be if we just tap into, and he's doing his part in a small country, and it's not that small, but you know what I mean. He's doing it's just a small corner of the globe. He's doing his part, and that's for someone else to wake up and do their part. And we all start doing our parts. Eventually, the balance is going to shift. And when it does, that's when we have the real freedom that the Empress Oracle Queen P always talks about, which is, living life on life's terms and not on someone else's idea or monetary system, you know? And the Queen Oracle said, yes, yes, y'all have a great day on purpose, with purpose. Stay present, patient, and positive. And don't forget to meditate every day. It's a great time to be alive. Let's start living. And that is directly from the Empress Oracle Queen P. So yes, we make sure we do our November meditation. And
Yes.
it's important. Like I said earlier, I can get I can get my 15 minutes in. The 45 is a little, stretch, but for little man, but he joins in with me and stuff. So, we're creating, their generation is called Alpha. What a perfect name that they named that generation. You know, you got Gen X, Gen Z, millennials, all this, but Alpha, something powerful. And I really believe, and I know that they are going to be the generation that take everything that all the seeds we're planting, they're going to take all that fruit and give it to the world in the way it should be, presented, because of the way we're raising it. I know I'm not the only one that's thinking to myself, my son should never have to, or my children should never have to go to a grocery store for their food, for their fruits and vegetables. Maybe a certain
That's right.
snack, maybe the favorite snack or something like. But other than that, the grocery store should be bare. And if they do have it, it shouldn't cost anything. We just, we have it just because, you put, I don't know, but the system's got to change. And here this brother is doing it, and he's being labeled a terrorist for it. So label me a terrorist too. Label the High Vibe Tribe a global terrorist, because we doing the same thing. And our words obviously have, too much power for the establishment.
Yes.
But yeah, so we appreciate everybody who stopped in. Make sure y'all remember to do your November meditation. Love yourself. Smash that like button. Share this video to anybody you think it will help. And don't forget to look in that mirror for the change you want to see. And love your journey. I am Speculum Ambulo. And we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace, peace, family. Peace.
Peace, peace.